this is the place to do it. California grows a ton of food. Over a third of the country's vegetables and 2/3 of the fruits and nuts. Hey, travel reporter John Bartell here. You know, over my travels throughout California's 58 counties, I've witnessed all kinds of harvests, and it's pretty amazing. And today, I want to show you some of the more unique foods produced in the Golden State in this special edition of Bartell's Backroads, grown in California. Let's get this road trip started in the fields of Yuba County, where the kiwis don't just grow on vines, they grow overhead in canopies. Yuba County is agriculturally rich. It's the land of rice, walnuts, and prunes. But just outside Marysville city limits in the little town of Tambo, kiwi is king.
So we're in kiwi fruit season. We're just harvesting currently and packing as well.
This is Wild River Fruit, the largest organic kiwi farm in California.
I like everything about kiwi fruit.
Mike Nolan is more of the farmer, and his son Travis is focusing on sales. What were these originally called?
The Chinese gooseberry.
Gooseberries, or kiwis as we know them, have kind of a funny past. They're native to China, but when New Zealand started growing them, they decided to name the fruit after their national bird, the kiwi. Sort of a rebranding is what happened.
That's right.
The kiwi is a really weird fruit. It actually grows on a vine, much like grapes, but the Nolan's kiwi vineyard grows above your head.
So botanically, it's similar to a tomato.
Once the kiwis picked off the vine, they head to the packing house.
A lot of the human contact is removed by the machine.
Jose Villalobos is the plant manager, and he runs the show in here. Okay, Kiwi Vision, this looks like a proprietary kind of thing for this fruit.
Yeah, so what this is going to do is basically take pictures of the fruit, and it's going to select defective fruit and kick it out.
So you guys just have a boatload of kiwi selfies in this machine, essentially?
Pretty much, yeah.
You know those really annoying stickers that are sometimes hard to get off your fruit? Yeah, this is the machine that puts them on. So before they had this machine, would someone have to do this by hand?
You know, I don't know. I haven't been around that long.
Kiwi harvest is highly efficient, and thanks to a series of conveyor belts, the fruit is picked and packed in just a matter of hours. It's like a kiwi amusement ride, sort of.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
Next stop, cold storage. It is cold in here.
32 degrees is what it is.
Kiwis are shipped all over the world, and that's because they have a long shelf life if you keep them cold. They can last for up to 8 months.
We recommend put them in a paper bag or plastic bag along with a banana or apple.
Yuba County, California is rich with agriculture, but when it comes to berries, the kiwi is king. Well, if you like martinis with olives in it, Corning, California should be on your list of road trips. Known as the state's olive capital, this small town goes all out celebrating its signature crop, from olive tasting to unique treats, like their famous olive milkshake. You'll find the little town of Corning right off I-5, about 20 miles south of Red Bluff in Tehama County. Corning is the self-proclaimed olive city, and for good reason. A lot of olives are grown here. Harvest usually takes place in October and September, but you can taste the fruit all year long for free at the Olive Pit Tasting Room.
So anybody that comes in the store is welcome to try any of these olives here. You just get to help yourself to those.
Jalapeno, blue cheese, garlic, you name it, the Olive Pit probably stuffed it inside one of the local hand-picked olives.
It is kind of limitless.
It's true, the town of Corning loves their olives, but have you ever had an olive milkshake?
So that's olive oil, and then we also have balsamic vinegar, which is sweet.
That's really surprising, yeah. All right, I may be biased because of the name, but a stop in Corning wouldn't be complete without visiting Bartell's Burgers. Yes, you can get olives on that, and no, I have no relation to the owners. Oh yeah, and on your way out of town, be sure and take a selfie at the world's largest olive. Egg prices seem to go up and down all the time, and if you're looking to get the most out of your money, head to Santa Barbara County. There's an ostrich farm that offers massive eggs that can make a really big omelet.
Oh, well, everybody's heard about the bird.
Welcome to Ostrich Land, USA, Santa Barbara County's premier big bird sanctuary.
The black ones with our orange beaks are the males, and then the brown ones with the brown beaks are the females.
Cody Perry is a self-proclaimed ostrich wrangler. He has a number of jobs here, but his main job is egg collection. I mean, how big of an egg is this, like, on the plate? Will this cover the plate?
This will for sure cover a plate. I would say this is equivalent to like 18 to 24 chicken eggs.
Just to give you some perspective on the size, here's a human baby holding an ostrich egg.
It's kind of hard to tell which one it is because we have a couple males that do that.
He just does that all day long?
All day, yeah. He loves the truck.
When Cody says the ostrich loves the truck, he really means it.
This is like a male ostrich dance. He's trying to attract the female, and right now he's trying to attract us, so.
I'm not sure what that says about Cody and I, but I can see how the birds get confused. You see, Cody's a nice guy, but he does handle a lot of eggs. Not to mention, Cody helps hatch the birds in an incubator. Often, he's the first person they see.
We have 3 babies out there that are 9 months old. They do not look like babies.
They don't look, okay, so they grow up quick. Not only is Ostrich Land a great place for selfies, it's also a great place to learn a thing or two about big birds. Chestnuts were once a vital food source in the U.S., and if roasting chestnuts over an open fire sounds like your kind of thing, head to Auburn. One farmer there harvests a whopping 8,000 pounds of chestnuts from his orchard every year.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose.
Ah, the Christmas song. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire sounds nice, but do you know how to get this to this? John Bartell. Today, we're gonna show you. Just outside the city limits of Auburn,
these are just remnants of what came down late.
Is a place where you'll find chestnuts littering the ground. These are very pokey here. How do you get in these things?
When they're on the ground, we take our foot and we kind of roll the back of the pod.
Every year, Tim Boughton grows around 8,000 pounds of chestnuts on his orchard at Amber Oaks Berry Farm.
So I take this whole end and I just cut off the very end of it. I don't waste much. There's really not much in here.
These are American chestnuts, and starting in mid-October, Tim welcomes people on his farm to teach them his secret to roasting chestnuts. The American chestnut is kind of a rare commodity. In the past, they were primarily grown on the East Coast until they were hit by disease.
And the blight came from China in the 70s and started killing the trees by the million.
Luckily, the American chestnut trees on the western side of the Rockies were not affected.
As soon as the water evaporates off the chestnuts, the skin will start to shrink.
When cooking chestnuts, you want a lot of heat. Tim likes to use a barbecue cooking basket to hit the chestnuts with direct flames. Do I have to have a gas stove, or could I do this over an electric one?
You can do it anywhere. You can see this shell is black now. You can take the back of the shell and squeeze it, and the chestnut will come right out of its shell like that.
Wonderful. Chestnuts are best eaten off the pan, but you can save them for later.
Yeah. You can keep them in a plastic bag in the refrigerator if you want to store them for more than a couple of days.
You can find farms all over California, even in the ocean. Let's head to Monterey County to see how one farmer raises abalone, a prized seafood delicacy. These sea snails take years to grow, but the effort results in a truly unique and flavorful treat. If you follow your nose down Monterey's Old Fisherman's Wharf, it might lead you to the Old Fisherman's Grotto and inside Chef Juan Ponce's kitchen. Juan is preparing a delicacy that's been on the restaurant's menu for over 75 years.
This is just fresh. They just got it this morning.
This is abalone, one of the most expensive seafood dishes you can buy at any restaurant in town. So you eat this?
Yeah, but I'm going to show you how we're going to eat it.
I'm going to be honest, Juan. This doesn't look that appetizing at this point.
Yeah, but you're going to see it in a couple minutes.
Abalone meat is tough right out of the shell, but in 1902, a German chef living in Monterey discovered that if you tenderize it with a hammer, it tastes pretty good. It's a very labor-intensive thing. After some thorough tenderizing and a bath in some batter, Juan fries it up and prepares it on a beautifully garnished plate for me to try. I've never tasted anything like it. It's fantastic. Juan may have blown my taste buds away with his cooking, but he couldn't have even prepared the dish had it not been for the abalone that was farmed just down the street from his kitchen. We're at a farm right now?
Well, you're standing up above one. It's under the wharf.
Huh. I don't see any tractors or anything around here. Down below the Monterey Municipal Wharf is the Monterey Abalone Company, one of just 2 abalone farms in California. What is an abalone?
An abalone is a marine snail.
Co-owner Art Seavey is what you call a mariculturalist, which is basically someone who farms in the ocean.
Yeah, so this cage has got a few hundred of these small abalone in it.
Art says raising abalone is a labor and time-intensive endeavor, which can take upwards of 4 to 8 years just to grow a single abalone. Why aren't you just pulling these off the ocean floor here?
Yeah, there aren't many.
Abalone used to be abundant along the California coast. Native Americans not only ate them, but used their colorful shells to trade and make art with. But that all changed in the late 1800s when Japanese immigrants started diving for them.
They did it, and they already had a culture of eating abalone and appreciating it. And so they would harvest it and dry it and ship it to Asia.
Eventually, Californians developed a taste for abalone, and a massive amount of the delicious sea snails were pulled off the ocean floor. Disease also killed a lot of the population, and then in 1997, California closed down commercial abalone fishing. Growing abalone in farms became the only legal and sustainable way to keep the industry alive. This is dinner? Breakfast and lunch?
Breakfast, yeah, that's it. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, giant kelp.
Unlike clams, which are filter feeders, abalone eat kelp or seaweed, which has to be fed to them in their cages, which I found out is a very gross and disgusting job. Look how slimy that is. Art says they choose not to feed their abalone processed food. Art and his team harvest natural kelp from the ocean, which is a dangerous and labor-intensive job.
We harvest anywhere from 3 to 5 tons of kelp a week.
Abalone grown in Monterey is an organic product, but most importantly, it's a sustainable way to get the tasty sea snail from the farm to your fork. Hey, you're watching Bartell's Backroads, special edition Grown in California. We're highlighting some of the amazing food grown in the Golden State. Fun fact, did you know that the artichoke was the state vegetable? That's right. A majority of it is grown just south of the Bay Area, in the little town of Castroville in Monterey County. You don't get to call yourself the artichoke center of the world for nothing. Castroville produces 3/4 of California's artichokes. They're home to the world's largest artichoke. At one time, Marilyn Monroe was crowned Castroville's artichoke queen. And now, the artichoke is the main attraction in Evan Oaks' agro-tourism business. If you don't know, agro-tourism is essentially a tour bus ride that showcases farming. So behind us here, this is Monterey County's cash crop.
Oh yeah, I mean artichokes is unique. It's actually our official county vegetable, and then it has now become the state vegetable of California.
He's not lying. In 2013, the then Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom proclaimed the artichoke as the state vegetable. The artichoke, is it a vegetable or is it a flower?
It's both.
The flower versus vegetable question is a little complicated. According to artichoke farmer Sean Pizzini, it all depends on when you eat it and what part you eat.
Because artichokes are actually flowers. So if left unpicked, this is gonna keep on opening and opening like a flower would, and it'll eventually bloom.
Sean says artichokes are really only edible before they bloom, and the underdeveloped blossom, or the choke, is considered a vegetable.
Cut this end off. So this is your traditional artichoke heart that you see in jars.
And that's the good stuff.
This is the good stuff.
There's a number of ways to cook the artichoke, but there's really only one surefire way to see if one's fresh.
A lot of people do the squeakness test, so you squeeze it, and it kind of squeaks, so it means it's fresh.
The persimmon is probably one of the hardest fruits to describe their flavor. It's soft, yet hard. It's sweet, yet bitter. The persimmon is really a taste of its own, and you just have to try it for yourself.
The name of this persimmon is Maru, and it's supposed to be nice and round.
Tosh Karatomi knows the tricky taste of the persimmon well.
People will always try to trick you to bite a persimmon just to watch your reaction when the astringency hit the lining of your mouth.
Tosh is a third-generation farmer at Otto Orchard in Granite Bay.
1910, my mother-in-law's parents started the place.
The persimmon is native to China and Japan, and Otto Orchard is one of the few places that prepare the persimmon in traditional Japanese fashion.
They used to hang them up in their houses.
Air-dried persimmon is an Asian delicacy.
The living room would have racks in it, the bedrooms might have racks in them. The only two rooms that were exempt was the bathroom and the kitchen.
The perfect dried persimmon starts on the tree limb. How about that?
Yeah, that's a good tear.
Heyo. The fruit must be just the right color and just the right softness before it can be peeled. How many of these do you peel a day?
Probably 600 to 800.
The next step is tying a string to the stem, a step that Tosh's 100-year-old mother-in-law keeps a close eye on. How are we doing? Like that? Okay, all right. We got the seal of approval here. The persimmons will hang from the drying rack for about 3 to 4 weeks, and periodically the fruit will get a rub down to even out the drying process. What is the technical term of this? Persimmon massaging?
Yep.
Tosh's wife is in charge of quality control. It's one of the most important parts because a single dried persimmon could be worth as much as $5. Have you ever tasted a boysenberry? It's a unique berry invented right here in California. Let's head over to Glenn County and hear about a man's hobby that led to the success of one of California's most popular theme parks. It's kind of a wild story. The iconic berry made famous by amusement park Knott's Berry Farm is the boysenberry, a delicious fruit that's not too sweet, not too tart, and ideal for pies, pastries, or just popping them in your mouth. The boysenberry has a 100-year-old history, and its roots are now deeply embedded at the Boysenberry Farm in sunny Orland, California, home to Rudy's Original.
And when you're picking, you eat as many as you like. How is that for a wonderful experience?
Few people love boysenberries more than Pam Drennan.
I am a boysenberry enthusiast.
Rudy's Original is a you-pick boysenberry farm, and Pam says there's just something special about this place.
I would call berry picking a serendipity experience. Serendipity is a surprise, unexpected happening. And when you come out here, you're going to be surprised.
The taste of boysenberries will definitely surprise you, but if you ask owner Jeanette Boysen Fitzgerald, the real surprise is how her grandfather, Rudolph Boysen, developed the berry back in 1923.
The parents are Marionberry and Loganberry. Marionberry is a blackberry with olallieberry in it, and Loganberry is a blackberry with raspberry. So you're getting like 2 or 3, 4 berries in one.
Rudolph, or Rudy as he was known, had a hobby of cross-pollinating plants. He first developed the boysenberry vine back in his home in Napa, but eventually had to move to Orange County where he became the city park superintendent for Anaheim. And it was there that he met another berry farmer by the name of Walter Knott.
The way he liked to describe them, when he described them to Walter Knott in 1932, was they get as big as your thumb.
Walter Knott eventually planted fields of boysenberries and started selling jams, pies, and pastries at his wife's restaurant, and it was an instant hit.
That was kind of one of the things that helped the boysenberry and Knott's Berry Farm become famous.
Rudy Boysen passed away at an early age due to a complication from a terrible fall. Jeanette never met her grandfather, but as she was looking into the family history, she learned that her great-uncle still had some original boysenberry vines growing in his backyard.
That's where all these come from. So they're descendants from my grandfather's original that was kept in my family.
Jeanette and her husband Tom now grow more than 2,400 heritage boysenberry vines, which attract more than 5,000 people during harvest in May and June.
This one over here. Look at this one.
Oh my goodness, that's a big one.
And some of the most enthusiastic pickers are kids. The guests here put more berries in their mouth than in their bucket sometimes.
You can see it on the kids' faces.
Jeanette says that berries in the bucket are sold by the pound, but berries that make it into your mouth are free. And while you're working your way down the rows, keep an eye out for painted rocks.
We hide these for kids to find in between the vines.
Introducing people to the boysenberry is not just a job for Jeanette. It's a way to honor her grandfather, Rudy Boysen, the creator of the boysenberry.
My grandfather left a legacy that I can carry on.
Welcome back. We're taking a look at some of the unique foods grown in California. Up next, we're heading to the Central Valley, the breadbasket of California, where agriculture is king in Kings County. When the sun's out, you can pretty much bet that Kings County is farming. But when the last bit of daylight creeps over the fertile fields, it's time to party. Welcome to Hanford, California, where the hoedown is alive and well. Hanford has been the county's party town since Prohibition ended. The Civic Auditorium in downtown was a major stopping point for some pretty big musical acts.
In the 1940s, Duke Ellington, Tommy and Jimmy Dorsey, they all stopped here and played music.
Jim Castleman helps organize the Thursday night Marketplace Party, which showcases the best of Kings County, the food.
The Central Valley feeds a huge population worldwide.
Kings County is actually one of the top 10 food producers in the state, and Hanford is the place to taste it all.
Did I say that?
And a trip to Hanford wouldn't be complete without a ride on the 1932 Allen Hirschnell Carousel. It's one of about 200 left in the world.
What Hanford has to offer is the history.
Other than agriculture, history really is Hanford's main attraction. The courthouse, the jail, the civic center, and nearly all the downtown buildings date back to the 18 or 1900s. And the best way to see that history is to wait till morning and catch a ride on Freddie. Freddie is a 1950s Studebaker fire truck, and when the city retired him, the truck was converted into a tourist transportation vehicle of sorts. And when Albert drives, he likes to stop at the birthplace of Hanford.
Our rail company decided they wanted to make a rail all the way to the coast. Well, this is it right here.
The city of Hanford was sort of a gift to a very valued railroad worker named James Madison Hanford.
Told him to pick anywhere along this line and build a town and name it after himself.
Hanford eventually became the county seat and attracted many of the Chinese railroad workers who lived in China Alley, a historic place that's currently undergoing preservation efforts.
It's one of the 11 endangered China alleys in the United States.
Across town is the Episcopal Church. The small wooden church was moved across town on giant logs. The large brick church came from much further.
The brick, they said, came from the 1906 San Francisco earthquake.
If you want to learn about the bloody gun battle between railroad workers and farmers, the anti-saloon movement, or the sheep camp villages, you can find history on those stories and more at the Carnegie Museum. And once you've seen it all, stop off at Superior Dairy for a massive scoop of ice cream. Historically, agriculture is king in Kings County, and it still is today. But don't forget, that history was built on the backs of farmers who really like to party. Thanks to an old holiday legend, mandarins have become a traditional Christmas stocking stuffer. This year, billions of tiny oranges will come from California. As one Christmas legend goes, Old St. Nick once visited the home of a poor father and his 3 unmarried daughters. To help them through tough times, Santa put 3 golden balls into their daughters' stockings, which were drying on the fireplace. In honor of the legend, many parents began gifting oranges or mandarins instead of golden balls.
People have grown up getting a mandarin in their stocking and things like that. So Christmas in retail is the largest time when mandarins are purchased and consumed.
I hate to break it to you, but Santa is not bringing those mandarins from his workshop in the North Pole. Instead, many of those mandarins come from the wonderful Halo fruit packing plant off Highway 99 in Delano, California.
This year's crop will have about 79 million cartons, which equates to about 2 billion pieces of fruit.
Senior Vice President of Sales Dave Rook says a halo is a specially grown, easy-to-peel breed of mandarin or clementine. And 52 weeks out of the year, workers at the Delano facility use high-tech machines to sort, clean, and pack the sweet seedless citrus.
Tangerines have seeds, others have seeds, but the varieties that we choose and the methods in which we farm them allow us to have very, very little seeds at all.
California accounts for about 50% of the United States' total citrus production, much of which is grown in the San Joaquin Valley. And to set their citrus apart from the rest, the wonderful company claims to grow the sweetest mandarins in the world.
We think sweetness sells, the world's sweetest mandarin, and the higher the sweetness, the higher the Brix level, we think the more consumer appeal. And so that's
Brix.
one of the Brix with an X.
What are Brix again?
Brix are sweetness, so that's the sugar content. That's what allows it to be sweeter tasting.
The world of citrus has become very scientific. Andrew says the average grocery store fruit has a Brix level, or a sweetness level, of about 9 or 10% Brix. Halos have a Brix level of about 13%. Unfortunately, the science behind the sweetness doesn't translate to those difficult to open mesh packaging that the citrus comes in. How are you supposed to get into these bags?
Well, if you open it and it falls apart, then you got to eat it all at once. So that would be our choice.
Lucky for everyone opening a bag of halos during the holiday season, they're easy to peel, eat, and they're healthy for you. Well, thanks for watching Bartell's Backroads Special Edition Grown in California. I hope it's inspired you to take a road trip of your own. I'm John Bartell. Hope to see you on the Backroads.